Most people assume running a podcast is chaotic. They imagine constant scheduling headaches, editing delays, missed uploads, and it's slowly becoming another thing on the to-do list that drains energy. And to be fair, if you don't build it properly, that's exactly what does happen. But if you systemize it correctly, a B2B podcast can run like clockwork and actually become one of the most structured parts of your business. So in this video, I want to walk you through the exact workflow we use to run 26 high-quality business podcast episodes a year without it taking over our lives. The first thing to understand is this: consistency is more important than intensity. We don't aim for weekly episodes. We aim for 2 per month. That gives us 24 to 26 conversations a year, which is more than enough to build meaningful momentum without burning out. The key is sustainability. If you design it to be sustainable, it compounds. If you design it to be impressive, it usually collapses. Everything starts with planning the year, not the week. At the beginning of the year, or at least once every quarter, we look at the types of guests we want. We ask who we want in our network this year. What industries are we curious about? What types of founders would elevate the show? This is intentional. We're not just filling slots. We're building a guest list that aligns with the direction of the business. And then once we have that list, outreach is structured. Invitations go out in batches, and we don't message one person at a time randomly. We allocate time to outreach properly. The message is simple, clear, and focused on them, and not us. We explain the concept, the positioning of the show, and why we'd love to feature their story. Because the positioning is clear, the acceptance rate is really strong. When a guest says yes, onboarding is streamlined. They receive a simple confirmation email, filming details, expectations, and some example topics. We don't overcomplicate it. We don't send huge prep packs. We just give them enough clarity so they feel comfortable and confident when walking in. Filming days are also batched too. This is one of the biggest workflow advantages. Instead of setting up equipment 26 separate times across the year in a scattered way, we group recordings. That might mean recording 2 episodes in one morning or 4 across a day. Batching reduces setup time, keeps momentum high, and makes the whole process much more efficient. And the recording itself is structured but relaxed. We follow a loose framework rather than a rigid script. That keeps conversations natural while still ensuring depth. We aim for 45 minutes per episode, long enough to build real insight, but short enough to maintain the energy. And once filming is complete, the post-production workflow kicks in. This is where having a clear process is crucial. The full episode is edited first, clean cuts, sound balance, visuals polished, and after that, the repurposing stage begins. From each episode, we extract multiple short clips. These aren't random highlights, they're intentional moments that stand alone as valuable insights. Those clips become LinkedIn content, short-form video, and social snippets over the following weeks after release. At the same time, photography stills are selected, quotes are pulled, and captions are written. Instead of treating the podcast as sort of one piece of content, we treat it as a content engine. One conversation can fuel weeks of positioning. This is what allows the podcast to feel present even between the episodes. Publishing follows a simple cadence. We don't obsess over algorithms too much. We release consistently on the same day at the same time. Predictability builds professionalism, and over time, people know when to expect it. Now, here's something important. The host's time is protected. The host's job is to show up prepared, have the conversation, and nurture the relationship afterwards. They're not editing, they're not chasing files, they're not formatting thumbnails. If you want this to run smoothly, roles must be clear. Production handles production. The host focuses on relationships. After the episode goes live, we make sure the guest is supported too. They receive links, clips, and assets they can share. This increases reach naturally, but most importantly, it strengthens the relationship. We want them to feel proud of the episode. That goodwill matters more than the numbers. And then comes the follow-up, which is arguably the most valuable part of the whole workflow. Within a short time of recording, we continue the conversation. Definitely not with a pitch, but with curiosity. We reference things discussed in the episode. We explore how we might help. Because the rapport has already been built, this part feels far more natural than transactional. So zooming out, the workflow has 5 simple stages: strategic guest planning, structured outreach, batched recording, systematic post-production, and intentional follow-up. None of it is really that complicated. The power comes from consistency. And then over 12 months, that workflow produces 26 meaningful conversations, dozens of pieces of content, stronger positioning, and a growing network of high-quality relationships. It also builds something intangible but powerful: credibility. The show feels established because it's consistent. And here's the truth. Most podcasts fail not because the idea is bad, but because the workflow is weak. They rely on motivation instead of structure. They start with excitement and fade when the reality actually kicks in. But if you treat it like infrastructure rather than a hobby, it becomes far more stable. You don't need to be recording every week. You don't need a massive team. You need clarity, batching, defined roles, and a commitment to consistency. If you are considering launching a B2B podcast and wondering how it would actually run in practice, the scheduling and the production and the workload, this is exactly what we help design. There's a link below where you can find out a little bit more about how we do it, and you can get in touch. And I can talk you through how a workflow like this would look tailored to your business. No pressure, just a practical conversation about whether it makes sense for you. Thanks for watching, hope it was helpful, and I'll see you in the next one.